got diabetes, lost weight, got in shape, got a new job, got new teeth, girls like me, and my wife is terrified I'm going to leave her. Buckle in, this is gonna be a long one, so some background details. I, 36M, have been happily married to my wife, 34F, for about 15 years. I shared in a prior story that we met playing Halo 3 and I moved across the country for her. When we first got together I was 21 and she was 19, we aren't married officially. I've never really seen the point in the ceremony as I'm not a religious person. My wife is more spiritual but not religious. She also doesn't feel the need to get married. One of the best things about our relationship is we haven't gotten into a fight one time since we got together, not one. I'm so grateful to have her in my life. To explain our situation, for years ago, I was kinda chunky, like a dad bod situation, and my wife had gotten a bit thick due to COVID. She isn't a big girl, just a little fluffy. The end of 2021 came around and I got diagnosed with type 2 diabetes. Honestly, I didn't know much about the disease other than you're not supposed to eat sugar and go easy on the carbs. When I learned all the terrible things that can happen to you because of this condition, I freaked out. Losing your limbs, going blind, losing your hearing, other terrible things, it's all so crazy to me to think about to this day. So I took it serious and started to improve my diet. My A1C, the average of your sugar levels over the past 3 months if I recall correctly, got much better. My glucose levels averaged around 120, and honestly I did lose a little weight, but balanced out around 200. To be clear, I'm not a tall guy, about 5 feet 6 inches, so even though I lost about 40 pounds over 2 years with proper diet, 200 is still thick at my height. Fortunately my wife is 5 feet 0 inches so I'm tall to her, which we both enjoy. I wanted to lose a bit more weight so I started going to the gym. I saw immediate returns, since I was already practically keto out of necessity. My high-protein, low-carb diet was a perfect match. Over the first year, I lost another 40 pounds, 160 is where I stayed for a while. I was losing fat and building muscle at the same time. Now, I'm lean, have muscle tone, and instead of avoiding tight shirts, I wear them intentionally. Also, let me tell you, my love life also improved. Not to give away details, but I last longer, we can do things we couldn't do before, and my wife initiates things more often too. My sugar hasn't been over 120 this whole year and my A1C is exactly where it should be. I'm living a healthy life and enjoying being in my relationship more than ever. So let's get to the issue. About 6 months ago I got offered to move from my company to another company. To be clear, I did not apply for this job. They reached out to me on LinkedIn and things for me and my wife changed drastically. First of all, I was no longer working late shift. Second, my salary increased nearly triple what it was. And lastly, I got a huge signing bonus. That signing bonus would change my life. When I was young, I never got braces. My teeth have always been crooked. This money mean that I could have my smile repaired overnight with a full set of veneers. Now, before everyone jumps on me for destroying my teeth, I also never had the greatest oral hygiene. Not to say it's the worst, but it's not great. I've had cavity after cavity filled, a few teeth pulled, a bridge put in, and some chips from an accident when I was kid repaired a few times. This felt like a chance to fix everything at once. I talked to my wife about the bonus I got and she was so supportive. Again, let me share that I first asked if there was anything we could use this for elsewhere. She told me that with my new salary, anything that she wanted could wait. My wife knew how self-conscious I was about my smile and she was so excited to let me get a brand new smile, so I did. Being a guy, I guess I didn't notice this all that much, but apparently women started giving me more and more compliments, mostly around my style as I do tend to dress a bit more professionally these days for my new role, which I thought was just hey nice outfit. Of course being thick, I didn't think they were flirting, just being nice. My wife on the other hand saw it very different. When we would go out, waitresses were starting to conversate with me more. Some girls apparently were giving me bedroom eyes, and again my dumb self didn't notice that. I'm already with my soulmate. Why would I care what other girls say to me or how they look at me? Everything I want is waiting for me when I get home from work. The person I want to spend my time with is already waiting to give her time to me. I don't want anyone else. I've been in love for 15 years. Now, the trouble, We went to Target so I could pick up the medication for my diabetes and so she could grab Starbucks. After I got my medicine, I walked over to where the keto/sugar-free snacks are in the health aisle. You know, the Atkins peanut butter cups, Quest chips, you get the idea. A woman who was definitely younger than me walked up to me and asked me if the chocolate-covered peanuts I picked up were any good. I started sharing my now wealth of knowledge on these items. We made a few jokes about the taste of some of the stuff, laughed a little, and just had a fun conversation. I then excused myself and told her I had to go find my better half. That was the first time I noticed. She seemed disappointed that I was taken, but didn't say it out loud. It turns out my wife was hiding on the other side of the aisle the whole time. I found her immediately, was happy to see her, gave her a little kiss, took her hand, and we went to check out. Later that night my wife seemed unusually quiet. I do know sometimes when she starts her flow she gets that way, so I figured maybe that was happening. My wife then told me she was gonna go back to bed and lay down a bit. Something felt off about it, and after 10 minutes I walked back to see if she was okay. I found her bawling into a pillow. Immediately I moved over to her side and started rubbing her back. Of course I asked her what was wrong, and she got herself together enough to look up at me with tear-filled eyes, and with the quietest, meekest voice I've ever heard she said, "Please don't leave me." I was floored. My heart shattered into 1,000 pieces. For the life of me I couldn't figure out what was going on. What did I do to make her think that? I don't stay out late. She knows where I am 100% of the time. We willingly hand each other our phones when the other missing theirs. To say I was caught off guard was an understatement. This is when she filled me in on the fact that women in general have been more and more interested in me lately, and that she's seen how some of them look at me like I'm a slab of meat. My mind was blown. I didn't push back, but I asked what she meant. Little by little she started to get herself together and explained to me all the attention I've been getting, the looks, the chats, the attention, the approaches. And tonight when that busty blonde Barbie was chatting me up, she realized that if I wanted to upgrade I really could. Upgrade to what? How do you go up from soulmate? I immediately told her that I never had any intent of leaving her, or that I wanted to, and if I was flirting I didn't mean to. She reassured me that I wasn't flirting. Bless her heart. My wife explained that she was listening to her husband share his life experience and his passions, not a cheating a-hole trying to get some. We both kinda laughed. We talked for about an hour after that. Eventually, we cuddled, watched a movie, and fell asleep in each other's arms. The last few days have been good, like really good, but is there anything I can do to make sure the love of my life never feels like I'm going to leave her? I can't stress enough that this woman enhances me. She emboldens my passions. She gives me all that I need and want. I tell her I love her every morning. I call her beautiful as a greeting, physical touch, kisses, hugs. I'm not distant. I'm active, and I want to be with her till I'm old and gray and burying her so that she doesn't have to endure the pain of losing me. Any advice is welcome. Dr. got diabetes, lost weight, got in shape, got a new job, got new teeth, girls like me, and my wife is terrified I'm going to leave her. Help, update. So I've been reading the comments as they've come in and I appreciate the kind remarks. My wife got home about 15 minutes ago and I showed her the post like a few of you suggested. You guys were right. She really appreciated the post. As to getting married, she still thinks it's a goofy tradition made up by religious people and currently just a good way for people to waste a pile of cash. However, one of you posted all the legal benefits to being married and I honestly can't disagree with that. So we are getting married, but she firmly said no dresses, no DJ, no food, no archway, just a few family members for witnesses and whoever needs to officiate. I couldn't help but laugh, but I guess we're going on a honeymoon in September around her birthday. She wanted me to pass her thanks along to those of you who offered your support and advice. Second story, I hate gender stereotypes. I'm a male and I like traditionally female hobbies, crocheting, sewing, embroidery etc. I know my mom is proud of me and my creations, but she can't show me off to our friends and family, and that makes me upset. It feels like what I make or do isn't appreciated or seen by my family because that's a girl's hobby, though they are cousins and aunts that are very amazed with what I do. I have a passion of creating clothing, but because of my gender I feel limited to only show my works that are for males, which I have none, so I can't show anything to my older family members without getting side-eyed lol. Kinda feel bad for my mom. She expected a manly son but all she got is me. I feel as if I'm lower than others because one time she tried to say to her friend, "Look, my son crochets, isn't that great?" But all my mom got in response is he gay?" In a rude and disrespectful tone. I saw my mom's face, she literally looked disappointed. Sometimes I do wish I liked traditionally masculine things like sports or something, but I always remember on how proud I was when I finished a crocheted garment. That feeling keeps me going. Even if I'm like this, that isn't a reason for my mom to stop loving me. Why do we have to live in a world where one gender is only set to be able to do a few activities? I feel like there's so many limitations, and my mom subtly urging me to try sports is making me feel uncomfortable. Comments: I hate it too. I am a woman which loves tools and everything about home improvement, but as soon as people discover that I did something like installing my own lighting, etc., they start to label me as manly, less educated, etc. In my country, this kind of hobby is seen to be for man, especially undergraduate poor people. People cannot accept that I am a woman with high education and able to paint a wall. You are only cool here if you pay a man to do it.